One of the most important trends to affect Ecuador's Vannamei shrimp industry in the past few years is the growth of exports to Asia. To understand what is driving this, one must first comprehend what is behind China's purchasing, its internal consumption market, and its reprocessing and re-exports market. Despite being the world's largest producer of Vannamei shrimp, China's production does not even come close to satisfying the demand driven by these two channels. Thus, there is a need to import from other countries. On the one hand, China's internal consumption market has been identified by its policymakers as an engine for continued economic growth. A stronger yuan and its fledgling drive to challenge the dollar as the world's reserve currency should foster this dynamic in coming years. On the other hand, productivity and economies of scale reached by Chinese factories remain difficult to beat. Thus, US and EU wholesale purchasers will continue to rely on Chinese production of shrimp channeled through its vast free trade zone facilities. The strong local demand for seafood, spurred in part by the bird flu scare, has placed considerable strain on local supply, prompting Chinese re-exporters to meet raw material deficits by increasing their purchases from countries like Ecuador. As a result, Ecuadorian exports to China surged 81% in 2013, giving China a 17% dollar-based market share of Ecuador's exports. This is impressive compared to the meager 1% it represented in 2008. Supply problems from the rest of Asia limit alternatives for Chinese buyers and have contributed to the surge of Ecuador's sales to China. Thailand is a prime example. Being the hardest hit EMS victim, Thailand saw its production this year decimated by more than 40% versus 2012 levels. Neighboring Vietnam has not been spared of the EMS onslaught, facing a reduction of 30% in 2013. Ecuadorian exports to Vietnam this year grew by 92%, which needs to be seen under the context of Vietnam's role as a pass-through country for China's black market. Korea is also increasing in importance for Ecuadorian Vannamei. In terms of volume, Korean imports increased 31% in 2013. As a highly developed economy, Korea's growing imports satisfy an appetite for products that are regarded as high quality, differentiated, and eco-friendly. Japan, a country that does not import much Vannamei from Ecuador, has a considerable indirect effect on its market. A shift in demand will affect the surpluses or deficits that China handles. Japan's Abe government has pushed hard for a weaker yen, making it more expensive to consume imported products. The high devaluation has caused Japanese consumers to cut down on shrimp consumption. Another factor that could come into play is the geopolitical tension that has recently emerged between China and Japan. Should it escalate, it will surely impact sales channeled through China.